Folks, have you ever made a list of places that you probably shouldn't act a fool in? If you have, has a county jail made it on there? It probably should. Let me tell you about two people who did not have county jail on that list. It would be Rogue Nation and News Now South Florida. Now, I don't know much about News Now South Florida, but they're News Now, so I assume they're you know what I'm saying? I do know Rogue Nation, and Rogue Nation has consistently failed to impress me ever. I have not seen the video we're about to watch, but I'm excited because the title says that he gets detained and battered at the Ware County Jail. In fact, let me tell you the exact title. First Amendment audit, Rogue Nation gets detained and battered at the Ware County Jail by News Now South Florida. The date it was uploaded is September 30th, 2020, so not exactly on the pulse, but I'm not going to complain too much. It should still be fun.
Yeah. Oh, they're coming our way. Tattletale. Tattletale.
Do you mean Tattletale because people are coming and going from the entrance? The place that people come and go from? Doesn't quite make sense.
Ware County Jail.
Ah, I love signs. You know why? Because they tell us things like this. No cell phones allowed, so they might be wrong there. And no children during visitation. They're acting like children. Is that close enough to count? Don't know. But as far as the cell phone thing goes, if you can't have cell phones, you probably also can't have cameras. Often goes hand in hand. I don't know if they're filming with a cell phone. I don't know if they're filming with a camera that's a separate object. No idea.
Tattletale. Somebody told on us. Somebody told on us. I heard you tell on us. I'm sorry?
Immediately, you cannot come in with that camera. All right, should be simple. I guess they're going to go and leave, right? They've been told the rules. Can't come in with the camera.
I cannot come in with a camera? No. Was there a statute or a rule that says that?
A fair question. There doesn't have to necessarily be a written rule. In some places, yes, it has to be written down and clearly displayed. In some places, it just has to be clearly told to a person before it can be enforced against them. For example, it's sort of like trespassing with a fence and without a fence. If there's no fence, in some places, I can just walk into that property and it's not trespassing until I'm told to leave and then don't. However, if there is a fence, I don't need to be told to leave for it to be trespassing. Similarly, in this situation, it's very possible that, sure, if there is a sign and they still do their activity and the sign's clearly displayed, the rule can be enforced. They can be charged with something or other, disorderly conduct, trespassing, violation of whatever, depends on the place. However, if it's not clearly posted, they do have a defense, but there is very, very sort of much a time limit on that.
All right, let me just read the rules then.
Okay, yeah, sure. You wouldn't mind stopping the seizure you're having.
That's right, I'm not visiting.
Okay. That's a problem for him. You see, this is a non-public forum, meaning it's a government building that's open to the public for a very specific purpose. There's a Supreme Court case there, which essentially establishes that the media does not get special access to areas that are off limits to the public. And if they are in areas that are not off limits to the public, then they don't get to use them in a manner that the public wouldn't. If they're not using it for visitation, they are essentially loiter. And if the public can't loiter, then media can't loiter, assuming that they are granted the title of media, and that's a whole discussion. We can get into that. But you might say, hold on, this violates my constitutional rights. I have the right to freedom of press. Okay, yeah. Before we move on, I want to discuss whether or not they are press. A lot of you have been citing the case from the Washington Supreme Court, which stated that YouTube channels are not members of the press. You're probably going to want to stop citing that one, because it doesn't say that. It says that to request, I believe, if I remember correctly, to request specific documents, you have to have a separate legal entity from yourself. And the existence of a YouTube channel that you put things on is not enough. If you want to request some very specific records in Washington State, you also need to have something like an LLC that you request it through, apparently. It does not mean that a YouTube channel does not make you a member of the press. For that specific purpose, you need a little more. However, the Supreme Court ruled in this case that to be a member of the press, essentially, you need a message to deliver and an audience to deliver it to. And there's a little bit here and there about what is or is not newsworthy, but the Supreme Court is intentionally vague about that sort of thing, because what is newsworthy changes in the opinion from person to person. So are they members of the press? We're going to say yes for the sake of this, because it's not really worth arguing that they aren't. It doesn't matter in this case, because it's not a traditional public forum. It's a non-public forum that they're in. Again, we're back to that. If you take away their camera, they would just be loitering, because they're not using that space for its intended purpose. And because the press does not get access to any area that the general public would, and because the general public would not be allowed there because loitering, the press does not get to stay there just because they have a camera, because this is a non-public forum, which means that any restriction on First Amendment activities, since this is not a place designated for First Amendment activities, any restriction only has to be reasonable. Okay, we're tracking? So is it reasonable to say we don't want cameras in here? Well, I would argue off the top of my head, let's say inmates react poorly to cameras, and they become violent and put people in danger. And maybe this has happened before. Yes, that meets that reasonableness test really, really easily. That's off the top of my head. It's one single thing, one thing. It's very basic stuff. Anyway, I've rambled enough. Let's keep going.
All inmates, maximum of 2 adults.
I don't want to listen to him read it. Let me read some stuff to you. Ware County Sheriff's Office. Let me see right there. All right, here are some rules about the jail. Visitation policy, visitation with family members, visitation will be on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I don't know what day this happened. I know what day it was. I believe it was uploaded on a Wednesday. I don't know if it was filmed on a Wednesday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No idea. Regardless, they're not there to visit, so it doesn't matter. A visitor will be denied a visit if the visitor is under the influence of alcohol and or drugs, or is disruptive or refuses to follow facility rules. Now, it would appear that one of the facility rules is don't have a camera. Is it written down? Well, we've already established that just being told that that's a rule is probably enough. Here's the thing. They're not there to visit, so they're not being denied a visit, but then that makes them basically loitering, which means they have no actual right to stay there. Yeah. Ware County Jail reserves the right to deny any visit. Oh, so they can just say, we don't want you in here. Bye. For any reason. Your clothing is wrong? Get out. Your hair is too spiky? Gone. Reserves the right. But again, they're not there to visit. But again, that means they don't have the right to be in the building because they're not using it for its intended purpose. So simple. It is so simple, but they're still going to come to my channel and argue this. I know.
Visitation by legal counsel. Okay, I was just seeing if there was a statute or something.
Yeah, again, the journalism thing does not help you at all. This is not a traditional public forum. It's a non-public forum, which means that if you're doing something that the public doesn't get to do, your camera doesn't change anything. Bye.
I'm telling you, you're not supposed to be inside this facility, and I have requested a deputy to come.
Oh, great.
And you keep filming.
I do love that she's requested this early. That's exactly what you want to do. Once there's a sign of like, oh boy, we're not going to be able to fix this on our own. Get someone else involved. Absolutely.
Have him come out, yeah. Then let me tell you.
You don't tell me anything.
Okay. Well, you don't tell me anything either.
Yes!
Hey,
Yes!
can you identify yourself for me if you're going to
I love it.
if you're going to give directions? Shut up. Ma'am, if you're going to spout directions out to me, you need to ID yourself.
There's this misconception that, oh, if you're a government employee, you have to give me your name. No. Almost certainly not. Now, there are some circumstances where, yes, you do have to. Generally, that is for law enforcement, and there are still caveats for that. But this, I have my doubts.
So can you tell me what your ID number is, or badge number, or
Badge number?
any of those identifying numbers?
Well, the sergeant went to get the deputy.
Ma'am, I'll bet you $100 when I FOIA your... Don't say they. I didn't call her anything.
I did. Yeah.
Me, it's me!
I did too.
Yes, I told you to shut up. Stop barking directives. Unless you want to. That's what you just did.
Getting a little disorderly in here. By the way, if you're going to have a government building where cussing isn't allowed, a jail is going to be very easy to justify those rules because you don't want to make the inmates angry. You are not more important than the inmates generally, because the purpose of the jail is to house inmates and rehabilitate them or whatever. I don't know. I've never been inside a jail. Well, as an inmate. Auditors, why don't you tell me more about that? Because a lot of you have.
She was asking.
One of you called me.
I didn't cuss. I didn't cuss, ma'am.
I told her I was going to tell her something. She told me that she wasn't going to listen. I'm not going to listen.
So I don't see any kind of statute or any kind of thing that says that you can't come into this publicly funded space and film.
Probably don't need to have one. Something that we already went over. It was that simple. I don't know why they don't know about it. They've been doing this for ages.
I've been to plenty of county jails here in Georgia. There's no such thing. The public lobby is just that, public.
Yeah, but it's a non-public forum, champ. Ooh, it's so simple. Skipping ahead. Beep up. Oh, look at that. They have a dress code. But freedom of expression of clothing. Oh, there are restrictions. Gosh, it's like they can restrict a lot of things having to do with the First Amendment. Huh. Well, gosh, isn't that just crazy?
Well,
The right
did,
about the right
did
person.
she ask you to leave?
She said we can't film.
Well, you've been asked to leave now.
Okay, isn't
Are
this,
you the
isn't
one
this
that?
a public?
Are you the one?
It's a
that
trespass
trespassed?
notice
not.
now. It's a trespass notice. Hit the alarm.
She said we can't film.
Well, you've been asked to leave now.
Okay, isn't
Are
this,
you the
isn't
one
this
that?
a public?
Are you the one that cussed that?
No, I didn't cuss
Okay.
anybody.
No, the other
Is he
gentleman
the one that
cussed
cussed
me.
her out?
I cussed. I said she was being a little bit sensitive.
Come on, man.
Sir, there's no cell
Oh,
phone.
it's a cell phone. Okay. And you hear the auditor go, well, there's no cell phones. Yeah, you also probably can't bring guns in there, except they're law enforcement. So they can bring those things in because it's part of their job. And some people like to go, that means they're sovereign citizens. No, the restrictions literally have written into them law enforcement on their active duty, whatever, like don't have to abide by these rules. It doesn't apply to them. That it's not that they're not obeying the law. It's the law specifically exempts them from that. Are you telling me that any exemption makes anything a sovereign citizen? So like seatbelt exemptions makes a car a sovereign citizen? Does it make sense? Anyway, I know those arguments can be made, so I'm just saying them now. So I can do a timestamp instead of a typed out rant. Nah.
Y'all been asked to leave.
But isn't this a public lobby?
Y'all been asked to leave.
I understand that. Isn't
And
this a
if you
public
don't
lobby?
leave, then it's disorderly conduct. And
Ooh. Now we're getting interesting. It'd actually probably be trespassing, not disorderly conduct. Or maybe, but I don't know how it works in Georgia. That's interesting.
we'll have no choice but to put you in
Is this a
jail.
public lobby? Please let us.
So even though this is a public lobby, you can request that I
I
leave?
can repeat myself once more.
I'm just clarifying.
You've been
Not
asked to leave
complicated.
So it's a lawful request?
Because
They said if we don't
he
leave,
called
we'll be
one of our
arrested.
employees.
I didn't do that.
I understand that, but y'all are together, are you not?
We're not together. We're not together.
Okay.
Go outside.
Y'all didn't
Together.
come, Miss Matthews, did they come in here together?
Yes.
Okay, both of y'all can leave.
So now you've lied to law enforcement. That's cool. That's a law enforcement. Did I just say a law enforcement? You lied to this guy, this sheriff. Well done. Good job, you. Okay.
So he's getting kicked out for cussing,
Both of y'all can leave.
and I'm being told to leave for what reason?
I'm asking you one more time.
Okay, so it's a lawful request.
Yes, sir.
It's a lawful request. Okay, and you are
Sergeant Michael Merritt.
And you have an ID number, badge number? How do you guys go by here?
You can call the Ware County Sheriff's Office and
So
they'll
you're
give
the
you all
only Merritt
information.
in the whole sheriff's
Yes,
office?
sir, I am.
Okay, all right. Sergeant Merritt, so I'm being asked to leave because I'm filming.
No, sir.
Why am I being asked to leave?
You're being asked to leave because y'all's disorderly.
Not me. I asked her who she was. That's all I've done.
So again, they can refuse you visitation at any time for any reason. If you're not there for visitation, you have no reason to be there. I don't think disorderly conduct would be the appropriate charge, but I was never certified in Georgia. I haven't checked all of this. I haven't seen this before. But certainly, You know what? Let's look it up. Let's look up disorderly conduct in Georgia. Disorderly conduct. All right. A person commits the offense of disorderly conduct when such person commits any of the following: acts in a violent, tumultuous manner, from the person, acts without provocation, abuse of words by the very utterance, meaning breach of peace. Yeah, I don't think this would be disorderly conduct. I think this would be some sort of trespass situation. Although there might be a different disorderly conduct charge that would apply to this. I'm not an expert in that area. There might even be some sort of local ordinance. They're definitely breaking the law. I just don't know that that would be the right charge. Not interference with government property. Let's keep going. All right, we got GeorgiaCriminalLawyer.com, which is Lawson and Berry. Okay. Blame them, not me, for whatever I'm about to read. Criminal trespass in Georgia. When he or she intentionally damages any property. No, that wouldn't be it. When he or she knowingly and maliciously interferes with the possession or use of the property. Okay, now there we go. Furthermore, a person can also commit criminal trespass when they knowingly and without authority enter on the land and premises or into any part of any vehicle, etc., for an unlawful purpose. Remains on the land or premise of another person or within the vehicle, railroad, car, aircraft, or watercraft of another person after the owner has asked the person to leave. Now, you say, well, that person's not the owner. Okay, well, sure, it says owner, but also anyone who's been designated by the owner to also have the authority to tell people to leave still counts. Now, you can fight that in court. That's the place to fight it because you can try to establish, no, it wasn't criminal trespassing because they didn't have permission from the owner. And that can work really well. But this is a jail. They almost certainly have the authority to do that sort of thing. I get it. It says owner. That's probably not the defense that you think it is. People can still be guilty of criminal trespass even on public property, such as school grounds. Eisenhower versus State. The defendant, Eisenhower, was banned from her son's school via an August 2009 letter that stated she would not be at any school event without advance written authorization from the superintendent of schools. Eisenhower was on campus February. Huh. Well, there you go. Yeah. That's public property, so they can still be trespassed. So the charge would probably be trespassing, not disorderly conduct. That would be my guess, as someone who has no authority to actually enforce that law. But I do have a lot more education in law than I would assume every auditor out there.
Sir, do you know this man?
Close the door if you don't.
Yeah, we know each other.
Okay, all right.
So I'm kicked out because
It's so simple. It's so simple. Just leave. Yes, they're kicking you out. Stop asking the same question. The answer's not going to change. Go.
we'll make sure we get the...
Oh, now he's obstructing an entrance. That's a problem. That actually can be a criminal charge. Interfering with the government business right there. That's hold on.
All right, we'll
Let's
make
go
sure
back.
we...
Close this door now.
We'll make sure we get the proper...
Or
Oh,
not.
no.
Oh!
Seriously, pull it in your hand.
Oh, Rogue. No. You're blocking the entrance. Hold on, let's pull up that statute again. Interference with government property. A person commits the offense of interference with government property when he forcibly interferes with or obstructs the passage into or from the government property, and upon conviction thereof shall be punished as for a misdemeanor. Yeah! It's right there. Right there. That one. Yeah, that's it. Right? It's so easy. It's so easy. My God. So you're like, why was he arrested? Well, first of all, he could have been arrested for trespassing. But he's blocking the door. He wouldn't shut the door. He was being told to shut the door while the other people were talking. I don't know if he heard that. He didn't. He just stood there. He's obstructing the doorway. He wouldn't leave it. Is that going to be dismissed? It probably already has. I'm going to be honest with you. This was 2020. He met the elements, right? Officers would, or excuse me, not officers, the deputies would have qualified immunity in this case, almost certainly. Because he met the elements. It was reasonable for them to believe he met the elements, because he did. But to prosecute this, I don't know. This feels more like a, don't do it again. You know?
Sir, that's a simple battery.
No, a lawful arrest is not battery. That's a stupid thing to say. Auditors say it all the time. It's still stupid. Excuse me. It's still stupid.
That's a simple battery, sir.
Are you leaving, sir?
I'm leaving.
Okay, fine.
But now I'm in fear for his safety.
Well, he's got his key.
Not how that works. I'm in fear for his safety. Why? Because he was lawfully arrested? Yeah. No, you have to be in reasonable fear for his safety to be able to do anything about it. Okay? And that's a lawful arrest. So, no. Sorry, champ.
Camera, he's fine. All of us are recording as well.
All right, I'm leaving.
Bye.
Are
Yep,
you?
have a good day, sir.
You too.
All right. And you're just...
You're not
Officer.
leave.
Deputy, I'm sorry.
Leave!
Sheriff's office? Deputies? All right.
Bye. Go.
I'm leaving.
No, you're not.
There's no rule on how fast I have to leave, right?
You have to make a reasonable effort to leave. Get out the door. I mean, you could be arrested right now. Like, he'd stop moving. The moment he stopped moving backwards, or he was not moving backwards fast enough, you can establish, like, you have 5 seconds to leave this door. That's what I would have done if I was one of these deputies. 5, 4, 3. It's the military in me. But that would work. You knew exactly how fast you had to leave, and it was reasonable for you to be able to exit in 5 seconds, right? If you're already at the threshold of the door, you can move out in 5 seconds. Now, if you have to, like, sprint out in 5 seconds, Alternatively, what you can do is you can just start walking towards them. Close that distance and sort of push them out with your body. So I gotta get a big old belly.
I mean, that's correct,
Could
right?
you get out of the way so our officer...
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll get...
So he's also blocking the door, which is basically the same charge that Rogue could get. I don't know if he actually got that charge. But now he's obstructing the doorway. So, another charge. Yay! I don't think he's going to get charged, but he could. They're that stupid.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, well, now he's definitely trespassing because he re-entered. Oh, my God. That's 100% a crime right there. I mean, not that it wasn't already 100% crimes, just... But are you kidding me? We're told to leave and you walk back in? My guy. They're so dumb. There it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Deputy. They already pulled us over and ran my stuff, so I...
Why would you not just edit that out? What? You edited the text onto it. You can edit out that part of the video. Oh my, they're so stupid. Anyway, that's basically the video. Let me know if you want more stuff on Rogue Nation, because he is just a basket full of nonsense. And I would love to go more in depth into what's down at the bottom of that dirty laundry hamper. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got for this one. Feel free to like, subscribe if you haven't, put a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you want next, what you thought of this one. I'm in the comment sections quite a bit, being sassy to the people who earn it. You earn the sass. So feel free to check that out. There's usually something good in there. And until the next time, be good, stay safe.